even more Ultimate heroes. There are so many we honestly need to talk about. So many epic fights that have come from Ultimates, and many heroes that have accomplished astounding feats in winning them. Welcome back, Nerd Squad. Today we'll be returning to the Earth of 1610 and the heroes who reside there, and some who maybe are Ultimates from outside of there, as well as we count down the top 10 most powerful Ultimate Marvel superheroes, part 2. Ultimates was an interesting journey as a long-standing comic line that allowed us to explore some of our favorite characters, but without the constraints of their long-established pages and pages of comic book canon history. That is what made Earth 1610 so fun in comparison to Earth 616, but also what likely made it so challenging to write. When you already know who a character is, but you could change anything about them, what would you change and why? It's a lot of pressure. Join me as we return to the exciting Ultimate Universe to explore some of these changes, and let's get counting. Number 10, Hawkeye. Clint Barton might often be thought of as a man who just runs around with a bow and some arrows, but the Ultimate Universe took his character to a whole new level. Hawkeye became more grounded in reality with a masterful archer who can shoot off 6 arrows faster than a human can fire 6 bullets. In this reality, he was also given enhanced vision, which allows him to see at an increased distance and granted him a better sense of contrast, as it's believed he sees more in black and white than in color. He was even implied to be able to see so well that he can use his eyes to tell him what is true and what is not. Pretty insane. Number 9, the real Black Panther. And if you're wondering why I'm saying the real one, because there was a time when Captain America was Black Panther in Ultimates, but that's a story for another time. Black Panther has a really different and kind of weird story in Ultimates. He actually ends up getting a similar treatment to Wolverine in this universe, joining the Weapon X program. Here, T'Challa is given Weapon X claws and has his general strength, speed, and stamina increased even further by the Weapon X program. In Ultimates, he also possesses a regenerative healing factor, and he is believed to be a mutant in terms of origins. Black Panther was given his code name by Weapon X, who gave him the name after helping to save his life after he fought a Black Panther in Wakanda to prove himself a viable leader as the second-born son of King T'Chaka. Yeah, in this reality, T'Challa is the second-born son. And actually, M'Baku is his older brother. Number 8, Doctor Strange. In theory, Doctor Strange's son, Stephen Strange Jr., also known as Doctor Strange, should likely not have died in the way that he did, considering how powerful he is. Although not as talented as his father, Strange was still a skilled magic user. It is implied, based on the artifacts that he holds and his place in the Sanctum Sanctorium, that despite his youth and his inexperience, he may have still held the title of Sorcerer Supreme in the reality of 1610, which should mean he's pretty powerful. Though of course, this is never really confirmed, so. Strange manages to defeat Nightmare when he possesses Spider-Man, teams up with Ultimate Knights in a fight against Kingpin, but ultimately is defeated and brutally killed by Dormammu, who strangles him with his own cloak and constricts him until his head explodes. It's pretty violent and pretty dark. Despite his gruesome death, Strange was still considered to be a powerful magic user and also possessed telepathic abilities besides. While he went by the name of Doctor Strange, he himself was not a licensed or practicing medical doctor. He was the son of Doctor Strange and Clea. Number 7, Carnage, aka Gwen Stacy, or really more specifically Gwen Stacy's clone, I should say. Gwen ended up being killed by Carnage, and during that process was in a way also kind of reborn through the symbiote. You can tell the OG version of Gwen Stacy from the Ultimates apart from the later appearing clone from the line by looking at the color of her eyes. Gwen originally had hazel eyes in this universe, but her clone version, who was also for a time Carnage, had blue eyes. Although in her Carnage form, her eyes became white, of course. Well, you might not think of Carnage as a hero here due to its history on Earth 616 and its origins as a symbiote here, as well as its attachment to Gwen. It was kind of a mash between a heroic and villainous entity, so it wasn't really a villain here. During her time as Carnage, Gwen possessed powers similar to Peter Parker's Spider-Man. And friends, before we move on to this next spot, if you are enjoying this list and you want more Ultimates lists, please let us know by giving this video a thumbs up. Also, thank you. It really helps us out when you do that, so thanks. Number 6, Peter Parker. Sure, he died, but he was still pretty strong regardless, and he only died twice. Also, don't get me wrong, I do not wish for the death of Peter, but in general, I'm just kind of glad that death itself was a thing in the Ultimate Universe. It meant actions and stories had, actual consequences. I mean, sort of. Peter kind of died twice, and he didn't stay dead. The more memorable death to me is the one where he died in a brutal fight against the Sinister Six, working to protect those he loved while also watching as they did their part to protect him as well. Oh my goodness! It was actually a really beautiful conclusion for the hero, with him finally accepting that while he couldn't save his Uncle Ben, at least he could save the other people in his life whom he loved. It was like a really heartbreaking moment. But then, of course, later on, Peter was resurrected, which I guess for the purpose of this list makes him even more powerful as Spider-Man because he came back from the dead. But it also kind of ruined the whole story of his death for me. So, Number 5, Nick Fury. Fury ranks so high on this list because, well, he's kind of in charge of many different superpowered characters and knows what buttons to push to get them to do his bidding and make them work for him. Fury was the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. in the Ultimate Universe and was also exposed to the Super Soldier Serum as well, which gave him enhanced strength, durability, speed, and enhanced healing on the same level as Captain America. His healing factor, of course, was not strong enough to regenerate his eye, which remained gone pretty much forever. Even without insane superpowers, this version of Fury is not someone you'd want to mess with, as he also has some of the most powerful tech at his disposal, which can do things like allow him to walk on air and turn invisible. Number 4, The Thing. In this reality, The Thing and Susan Storm, the Invisible Woman, end up together, with Susan leaving Reed Richards to be with Ben. Ben Grimm was mutated after exposure to the End Zone, turning into a rock-like monster creature. However, later on in the Earth 1610 universe, he would gain the ability to actually change form at will after experiencing a secondary mutation, which also gave him his purple form. As such, he can switch between human form and rock form. While in his rock form, Ben is super strong. As a result of his mutation, he also had enhanced durability and endurance. He can withstand extremely hot and extremely cold temperatures as well for a short amount of time. Ben is actually considered to be so strong and massive in his rock form that he has to wear a containment suit. Otherwise, each step that he takes would actually cause destruction within his nearby vicinity. That is just how powerful he is. Number 3, the Hulk. While the Thing has beat the Hulk in the Ultimate Universe before, I still think he's a little more powerful, though not nearly as powerful as his Earth 616 counterpart. I feel like one of the things that we also need to consider about Ultimate Hulk is how many times he's been boosted up in the Ultimate Universe. One of his weaknesses is adamantium, which is strong enough when sharpened or enough force is applied to pierce the Hulk's thick skin. But if Hulk gets angry enough, even this won't work on him. And he also at one point to himself is bonded with adamantium, so Hulk also received a power boost from Galactus, and at one point wielded an incomplete set of the Ultimate Infinity Gauntlets, giving him another power boost. Hulk was initially a member of the Ultimates, but would later on end up serving on the Maker's Dark Ultimates team. Number 2, Hercules. Hercules of Earth 1610 was recruited by Nick Fury to join his Howling Commandos, who he sent to battle the Maker and the Dark Ultimates. Hercules is believed to have godlike powers, granting him superhuman deity-level strength. It's still believed, however, that he could be weaker than his Earth 616 counterpart, but I personally am not so sure about that fact. Hercules here squared off with Ultimate Hulk while his power levels were boosted by Galactus and managed to defeat him solo. Hercules is also considered to be a skilled fighter and is the son of Zeus. Number 1, Blue Marvel. I love when cosmic heroes just end up at the top of a list. Cosmic stuff, I love it. Blue Marvel is one such hero today. Blue Marvel is Adam Brashear, and I know what you might be thinking. Hold up. This Blue Marvel is not from Earth 1610, Amanda. He is not from the Ultimates. And yes, he is not from the Ultimates, but he is one of the Ultimates of Earth 616. You see what I did there? You see what I did? And he ended up facing off with Marvel's 1610 Ultimates. So I figured that while he is from Earth 616, he should still kind of count, because he's on the Ultimates. I also just really like Blue Marvel, and I enjoyed watching him one-punch Earth 1610's Hulk, which I thought was pretty crazy, so I'm putting him on the list. In the fight against the 1610 Ultimates, Blue Marvel and Hulk face off, and Blue Marvel makes quick work of the Hulk, knocking him out with one single punch. I just love these few panels. I just love it. What are some of your favorite Ultimate heroes? If you could change anything about the established heroes of Marvel in a separate universe, from the main continuity, what would you change about them and why? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you haven't watched the part 1 to this list, check it out for even more powerful Ultimate Heroes. This is Top 10 Nerd, and I am your host, Amanda McKnight, reminding you, as always, to stay nerdy, YouTube.